Hi, I want to thank you for helping us serve communion and for taking this time to listen to this training so that you could be best prepared for the time that you serve. Communion is a special moment in the life of a church. It's a time when we're doing exactly what Jesus taught us to do. It is probably the moment of truest worship where in the body of a congregation. It is the time when Jesus becomes our entire focus as a whole group of people. And as members of the team that are going to be serving, you share in that moment in serving and helping to make that possible. So what a privilege and really what a tremendous responsibility. So taking a few minutes out to listen to these instructions and preparing yourself for the service that you are going to be providing this Sunday is a big deal, and I do want to thank you for doing that. The first thing that I would like to ask you to do is to pray and ask God to prepare you and to bless your heart so that you will be best prepared to serve those that are going to be attending this Sunday. Please be early to the service, at least 10 minutes early to the service, and check in at the welcome desk as soon as you arrive. I will be there to meet you and to give you any assignments that I need to, as far as the area that you will be sitting in, and the aisle that you will be serving. So so be there to check in with me. It could be that you will be sitting in an area that you don't usually get to sit in. I would like you to sit in the area close to the aisle that you are serving, so that when you rise and go to the head of the aisle, it's not you're not crossing a whole lot of area to do that. And I'm going to do my best to seat everybody in an area that they would be comfortable in and would most like to sit in. But sometimes it's going to be impossible to do that. So I would like for you to at least be flexible enough to sit in a place where you might not normally sit. At the appropriate time in the service, Pastor Brent is going to invite the servers to come to the front of the aisle you will at that point get up and go to the head of the aisle and simply wait there, um, with your hands at your side or crossed. It really doesn't matter, waiting to receive the trays. The pastors are going to bring the trays to you. You will most likely be receiving more than one. They stack really easy and they separate really easy, so not to worry. Um, it's very simple. They're very simple and very easy to manage. Once you've received your trays, um, wait there until all of the servers have received their trays, and Pastor Brent will give a signal to you all, and at that time you can turn toward the seats and begin handing your trays out. And when you do so, I want you to hand your tray. That's just a single tray to the adult closest to the end of the aisle. Once the first tray is passed, then you just simply repeat the same process until you have passed all the trays that you have in your hand. Pay attention to the people on the opposite side of the row to you. If they start one, you'll want to start. If they start one coming back to you, you'll want to make sure that you don't start a row that is already receiving a tray. It's just simple paying attention. Also, be aware of the aisle partner that you are working with. In the wider aisles, there's going to be two people working, and sometimes there's a heavier concentration of people on one side or the other, and it causes some of the trays to move more slowly. If you see that that's the case, then simply pass one of your trays to the opposite side, or receive one of the trays to your side, so that we can move and have everybody receive the elements very, very efficiently. If you're working a row, if you're working an aisle on your own, you'll want to pay attention to this on your own, so that you're coordinating your trays in such a way that you're pretty much moving back at the same rate, all the way across. It really gets awkward if you get really far ahead of yourself on one side and not on the other. It's really common sense. It's not a big deal, and it's very, very simple. It's just something that you have to pay attention to. And one thing that this will do is this will cause a heavier concentration of the trays at the end. Once you're receiving the trays at the end and stacking them up. And those of you that pass a tray and you don't have a tray left to receive, you can cross the row back behind it. This only affects the very end of the serving. Cross the row behind and pick up either some of the extra trays that server is has stacked up, or you can um, catch your own on the other end and then return to your row. Before you leave the sanctuary, please be served. I would very much ask you not to serve yourself, because communion is made to be received and to be offered by one to the other. So if you could just take a few minutes and pause, sharing the time with one of the other servers, and receive the bread and the cup from a tray as it is offered to you, and offer the bread and the cup from a tray that you hold, you will share in this joy. Um, Pastor Brent will direct the entire congregation. Before he does this, if you have time, you can step out into the foyer and drop off your trays onto a cart that is in the foyer, ready to receive those trays. When Pastor Brent directs the entire congregation to receive the Lord's Supper, I feel free to do that from where you are seated, from where you are standing. If you want to go and sit down with your family, and it's appropriate for you to do so, feel free to do that as well. Then the pastor will ask everyone to place the cups in the receivers that are in the pew. And after the service is dismissed, it is your responsibility to pick up all of the cups that are in your section and drop those cups in a trash can in the foyer. If you want to grab a teen or some children to help you, they find this this opportunity of serving to be very, very fun. So you can get a couple kids to help you, and that will be great. Some special instructions that I do need to offer to those that are those that will be serving. We have some people that are on the platform that need to be served, and that person that is serving to the far right of the stage, when you're standing on it, the row far right of the stage will serve the platform, and I want you to do this first before you go and serve your aisle. So. Just simply make your way quickly to the platform. Those that are on the platform will likely need you to place the elements near them, because they will probably be engaged in playing music, maybe singing. So feel free to ask them. They will signal to you, or they will point to you where they would like to have it. They may not say anything, but you can ask them, what would you like me to do? And they will signal you somehow or another. Just pay attention and do what they ask. The person on the far left of the platform, I would like for that person to serve those that are in the audio booth and in the video projection booth, and do this after you have served those that are in their seats, so that we can serve even those that are serving in the service. A special point of instruction is something that you may need to pay attention to, and that is serving the children. We really would ask that you never pass the tray to a child. Always pass the tray to an adult. This allows the adult to determine if they're going to let the children under their charge to worship in this way. Another thing that I want you to pay attention to is serving to the elderly. Sometimes there will be some elderly that we have in our service that find it very difficult to manage the tray. And in this case, it would be a good idea for you to hold the tray for them as they take the elements. If that in itself is even too difficult, then feel free to hand the elements to them. And then if you can reach over across them and pass that to the closest available person, that would be great. If you can't, then step back to the row in front and ask that person if he or she would take that and pass it down to where they could pass it back to the row, so that we can serve everybody and not make things too difficult for those that are elderly. Sometimes even passing a tray is a very difficult thing to do. So keep that in mind and do your best to try to help and serve in the way that God is allowing you to. And once again, I want to let you know how much I appreciate you making yourself available to serve for us this Sunday. It's really, really a privilege and an honor to have you serving. Thank you.